Are you talking about the LAMP? Is that what it was? The levy analysis and mapping plan?
So that process was managed by the county, and done by some consultants in the Midwest of Ohio. So it's a county/federal process. They have a list of consultants they use across the country that does that mapping. Myself and Ken Mold were part of that team, and we helped inform them about that book, review the model. So we looked at, hey, can we just raise the existing levy in place and fill in the low spots and came into regulatory, both regulatory as well as local jurisdiction resistance. It is.
And so the big question is, at the end of the day, how do people flooding when we know that there's an issue and how they're raising it? Really, all the time, pretty much. And not allowing anybody to do anything about the Bedloe displacement. So the river bed is rising every year, and every year our risk for flood increases exponentially. We gotta start suing people. I mean, at what point, how do we do something about? I don't know what the answer to that is, but. I've been here a lot longer than I don't know what's been years, but. At some point, last time they just opened the road up. Down, farther down, that whole 95. Something like yeah. We were up there packing sandbags. And I came to them and put this out. Sandbags. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it seems like we, I don't know, it seems like we're just passive about it because we're kind of our hands are tied. We don't have the money. So
I don't think we're passive, but we're problem where the procedures going and it's like that's one thing for us whenever. You know, which comes to shove. It orders.
The other problem is, I don't think there's been, like, when the city built the Wolf levy, there was broad support for that project from the county, the tribes. I don't get the sense that there's broad support for the Jones levy, like there was that project. Without that broad support from the county, states, the regulatory agencies. These projects are so massive and there's so many people that get to weigh in the stakeholders, they're never gonna pass go. So that's where me standing on the side, I've been a little bit frustrated with the lack of support for the city. And it's not on your part, it's other agencies that just aren't pushing this. It's not a priority for them. And so I feel like it's like people said, kind of started to fork out a little bit. Still looking at it and saying, well, it's expensive.
Right, and with the way the flood control zone is set up now. There's more support for. Coastal sea level rise than there is river flooding, but flood control zone district was created for river flooding. Right. So how do we? It was, yeah, we had a big long conversation about that, and they absolutely did not want to talk about the reality of that low displacement in the rivers and what that's doing to the system. They just kept going back to other stuff, so. My concern is that it's eventually we're gonna have to severe flood.
Absolutely.
We've had, I mean. 10 years we had big floods. Probably do, so. That figures on that. Anything else?
Scott, I don't think he was anticipating being absent today. He feels like garbage and did not pass any info on that he wanted me to pass on to you guys. So if something comes up, we'll definitely let you know.
Other downstream, the agenda bill that we picked back.
The Kansas Street one.
Okay, Kansas Street, I think is later on the agenda for, under capital projects, actually, so do you want me to wait for that, Eric?
It doesn't matter, I mean, we can go and talk about it, it's just easy required. We have 45 of 57. Good, moving right along there.
And we're obviously, on the engineering side, doing what we can, but, waiting for the government final. Washtenaw Fish Passage, we met with them a few weeks ago and they changed their plans again. So they've now combined the Orville Road project and the Fish Passage project together. One project, which is good. Initially they were gonna have two separate contracts and two separate contract mechanisms for them. Now they're gonna bring them under one contract, but they've changed their alignment at, creek further from town. Route further away. Yes, Route Creek. So, they shared some preliminary design. They have not, we asked that they follow up with their formal design files. So we can start to look at alignments. They've not provided. We take every 2 weeks for updates on our end.
I mean, that sounds kind of outlandish, however, at the federal level, there is a lot of discussion right now about. Fish conservation and eliminating it altogether. To start, which, I'm getting following from that, but I don't know if there's any potential impacts here. But, you know, it seems like we waste a lot of resources every month. Even if it's just a phone call,
Or
it's like you're wasting your time.
Right.
All of them, it's like, hey, what are we doing today? We're doing A, what are we doing tomorrow? B, what are we doing tomorrow? Back to A, back to C. You know, it's just every month you guys come here and report on this.
It's literally been that way every time we get together.
And from the capital project side of the house, I'm not taking those funds that we need to essentially pay for the design and then for the construction. Those are gonna be monthly bills because of our franchise agreement with Washtenaw. So I'm putting a couple other projects kind of on hold that have already been designed by parametrics that we could easily move forward on a couple of those at this point. But one of the good things I think we have going for us is with Washtenaw combining both of those different projects into one. we'll be able to do a utility agreement with WashDOT where we do all the design work. They incorporate that into the big package, and then, we just pay for the work that WashDOT contracted with us to do based on our needs. So it helps us with that to some degree. The only drawback is if something goes sideways, we're on the hook for moving all of those utilities, moving construction work prior to them even starting to work on the project. And unfortunately, for the fish passage portion, that's not possible. Because we're relying on their infrastructure to potentially change water lines on the side and all of that. So it creates a unique circumstance where it's already at holding pattern, like you mentioned.
And I don't think we're unique to that. There are other cities and other jurisdictions too that are all held up on the same thing. When Scott and I went to Olympia and met with one of the representatives, it was a very sidebar conversation, but he had heard from other jurisdictions too that this continually is a problem.
Unfortunately, because you're going to walk out right away, have to watch that franchise agreement. I agree, we could say, no, we're done, but the agreement is still gonna say that we have to move the water line. And they have an overly aggressive schedule in my mind based on the kind of design that they're at. But push comes to shove, they're gonna come to us and say, you need to move your water line by this date. And we say no, then obviously that's when lawyers get involved. Much points in that situation, but it's been incredibly frustrating because every time something. Stormwater plan, Ryan provided some comments to us a couple weeks ago. We're working on reviewing those comments to get back to them, so still moving forward in collaboration with the city staff on that. And then water system plan and city design standards were approved by council last week. So we are getting our in-house team set up and kicked off, and we're gonna be reaching out to Ryan probably for the city coordination and kick off on those next week or. That's it for me. Questions about other things? City design standard and the water system. For that, for last week.
The bill, I just wanted to do the packet to you, I didn't know it's on, and also the sort of create table, I did a updated table. You're welcome. And I've already edited the agenda bill that is in the folder, so you have the correct budget on it. But we're bringing this back to talk about the amendment that we need to have for the project to continue to final design.
This column is for vehicle.
No, the table she just,
So the number. That number there needs to be updated to match this table, so Councilmember Hogan, that is wrong. The 6.7, that's right.
did you want us to reprint the agenda bill? Sure.
6, 7, 5. Yeah, so this one's.
So this number here. Do you think
Yeah,
that
and
is-
so on your agenda itself, that's in, which I don't. So. And then I just want to point out too that it says 90% of the required funds are covered as a securitization investment board.
Mhm.
That is a carryover from the agenda bill that was presented in January of 2024 by former staff. The securitization through the board is not covering any of the design for this project. They are doing paper construction and right away. So that which certainly from there too, which will be done before we get to the study session. So we are asking for approval to allocate $135,000 for final design and to finish the right-of-way process. And we're including some rapid flashing beacons at the crosswalks, which were a request out of the open houses. And we also need to add a little word for the stormwater conveyance to work properly because of sequencing between White Hawk and the Campbell Street project. So that's what this is for, and here's, if we go to the Transportation Improvement Board grant, that will help us with construction, and they wanted us to bid this, well, when the application was submitted, they were told we would bid it last spring. So they aren't provided it yet, so we're working our way through right away, they asked me for an update the other day. They asked if we were ready to go mid-February, I said, we're still working on right away. And he said, okay, no problem, just keep me updated. I gave him a mid-May date now for going to bid, so that's where we're at with that. Ryan, do you have anything you want to add to that?
No, I think you covered it pretty early. I did make sure that we updated, aside from the numbers, but I updated it actually without saving.
Yes.
I made sure that it should be pretty clear that we're just asking to allocate approved budget funds to finish the design.
So that is where the confusion lies, right? So from the policy perspective, the only thing that, like I said, the only thing I care about is how much did the council approve? Are we changing that total approval number, or are we just authorizing some of that money to be spent because it's over a threshold? That's, either way, doesn't matter how it's being spent. That's the main thing. Our objective is to either approve the money or not approve it and have a clear picture. Looking at this, and part of it might just be because of the document. What clarity that I'm looking for is to be able to say, what is the council approved budget for the project? What's that big number? Do you have that?
It's that 6758 on that table on your, yep.
So this is what council.
Yep.
And we're asking to add to that 6.7 million.
No, the 135 will come out. We're not increasing.
I think it's just I feel the same way. I'm confused because I'm not super close to the project. I think it's just because of the amount of money that they're allocating out for this particular project that requires council approval to just move the money. It's not an increase of a budget or asking for additional money from any other funds, but because it exceeds the threshold that the city administrator or the mayor can allocate the funds out, that they're just asking for council approval to move those funds over.
And that was totally fine, but the motion said to approve at least my understanding, correctly, was that we were, the wording was adding, but that was the disconnect. So,
So you're correct about that, but it did say that, but I think we're a little, there's two different budgets, right? There's the project budget and then there's the contract budget. We have to increase the contract budget to keep it going, but that's not increasing the project budget. We have it in the project budget, we're just allocating it to that. So that was what, but that language was referring to the contract budget, not the project budget.
I can say too, I think we're working hard to kind of simplify the motions. Sometimes when we're making motions, they've been overly complicated and extremely lengthy. And so just trying to simplify the motion so anyone that's reading it, a Joe citizen can look at it. Oh, here we go. This is what the motion was. And so we never have to say severability again too for you. So.
I'm expecting else to. And so this thing has been like a huge step forward, so that's great. So I don't know if there's even a way to, total approved budget line, or, somehow to just pure layman's terms, so that we all get it the first time real easy.
I think if,
The goal is just that it's smooth the process to get the money approved, or if everybody would be crystal clear that, hey, we're adding money to the budget, then no, we're gonna start approved.
I think if you look at that second page of the agenda bill where it says budget allocation request, if you disregard that 6.5 million number is the wrong number, it kind of helps give a little bit more clarity there to the total approved budget and then the allocation out of that approved budget. And then the total remaining approved budget, there must be things that were already paid for out of that bucket of money, I'm assuming, but
So that you got it in a way that makes sense, you can have the same similar type format, so uniform across the board. And also, if you take a look down at the recommended motion, I think that cleared the language there, it's in the motion. that help with that as well.
You know, I don't know, does this end up in front of the official, if somebody pulls this off the website, is this?
It should, so it should be in the council packet or that document will definitely go to the study session and then therefore get moved to the final meeting. So it will become a part of the official record. This is the first I've seen it. And so, yeah, we'll definitely make sure when you go to brief that at study session that you have that available to you so you can explain it in a way that will help the others get what you're trying to say.
So. With the budget, it would be nice if we had, here was the base budget, and then, you know, 80X. You know, increased budget by X amount of dollars for, and just a one line bullet point, you know, we had to add 135,000. For the original scope, whatever. And then when there's 25 of those, over time, we're just cutting and pasting that in the new agenda bill, and now when we open this up and we discuss it. When you're sitting up there, you show up to the meeting after work, because we aren't here all day. We're doing our daylight elsewhere, we show up and we're trying to read that, and it's like. Where's the money coming from?
Well, I think even just project tracking like this will help a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if it necessarily needs to be like right on that agenda bill, because I'd hate to have 4-page agenda bills with all these things, but something like this spreadsheet, I think is a wonderful idea where you can kind of refer and have a running working document so you can go back and refer to it and so can the public or whatever. I think it's an excellent
And
idea.
It's good and bad, if we perform ahead of budget, then we're able to say, okay, now here, like. I know, it's not fair. Okay. So yeah, we just update that. for those. Yeah, we move on to it.
That was the goal.
So we're doing something right.
Update. So the drillers are on site and they're working on their first hole today. This afternoon, there's gonna be an inspection with our construction management team to make sure that what they've done today passes before they are able to proceed, with pumping concrete or drilling the next hole. So we're working on that today. The contractor is also paving a temporary pedestrian detour in the right of way of Old Pioneer Way for pedestrian safety and for the kids to walk through to get through safely to school, which is good. That'll be a paved path. It's just temporary. We'll take it up at the end of the project and restore that area to the grass like it is right now. Contractors are also working on the easement properties to put up temporary fencing so they can take down the wooden fencing in the next couple of weeks after they get a barrier set up on the east side. Once WashDOT approves that plan, and that barrier will be to protect the construction crews in case a car came off the road. So things are moving along really well. So far, I don't think there's been a lot of traffic delays, which is really good. They've been able to keep the highway open and move freely. And we have a tentative date for a golden shovel celebration March 15th at 11 a.m. down there at the site. That we're going to send out a community invitation to. We're still kind of in the initial planning stages, but that's going to be the temporary date for tentative date for that event. Very exciting stuff happening down at the bridge.
They had the first cage set. I love it. So 95 feet. That's the girl song.
Very exciting.
They hit the bottom, yes.
It would be so cool if we had. Hope that we just like.
Pull up.
Case,
Right.
be there, just like this
That
is
was
our
cool.
city, you know?
Yeah.
But you'll see if you, when you leave here, the cage is sitting about 5 feet, but
They're very focused on safety. They've got, safety spotters out there in that frame and everything like that, so. it's good.
Two guys running.
Yeah.
These are not going far.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, the construction management team that does inspections, who is that piece of stuff?
So Scott Steves from Parametrics is the on-site full-time inspector right now. And then WashDOT also has an inspector that's coming out and inspecting the bridge progress. They're part of the team. And then we've got, some inspectors as well, so.
And one observation, mine, for example, I've run through there. And being one of the people in the room and know, I'm sure there was a lot of citizens that all living in the same thing over there. So, and I think, I was thinking it about, because I caught myself doing it this morning, I rallied right through there, 35, there's 20-mile-an-hour zone. And I
It's a
thought
lot
myself,
longer now. too.
and I thought to myself, I'm like, why am I, what's the behavioral pattern that's causing that? It's because the light and the sign are the exact same as they used to be, and so I'm physically not registering that this has changed.
Mhm.
I don't know if it would be helpful, because I saw in the citizens water that people were complaining about, which aren't paying attention and walking, and they're 100% right, because I see that every day. And they're staring at their phone, so I don't know if maybe like changing that flashing light, and I'm not thinking like something complex, but like just a strobe light or something that's different, so that when you come through there, you're like, whoa, wait, why is that different?
Are there orange flags on it? I can't remember if they're, okay.
It's that same light, and you see, in your brain, you see, you're supposed to have an orange sign,
Mhm.
so you see those coming down the road, and it just blends in, and your behavioral pattern, you're just trained, because you drive through there every day, and you're on autopilot. I don't know how many times I drive by Williams Boulevard trying to pull in my place, because I just keep going, I turn around golf course, because I'm busy. So, I mean, the reality is that if everybody's doing that, which they do, it flash might prevent an accident.
I think that's good feedback. That's why there's been the paved pedestrian pathway that's going in as well on Old Pioneer Way. Is that what the road is? So the students are moved even further off that road. So we're listening to the comments that we're seeing on the blotter, trying to get them as safe as a pedestrian path as they can right through that area. So I'm sure that there's probably something that Ryan and his team can look into.
That's- People are gonna see that. And that's,
Yeah, that's a good idea. We just need to be careful because the crosswalks or the crossing guards were parking out there and they were kind of blocking the vision of when the crossing guards were getting ready to go out. So we got a citizen contacted me and said, hey, they're blocking the view. I can't see the crossing guard trying to hit them. So then they can't park there anymore. The crossing guards do go out there and like light up here in the mornings. I'm super impressed. Red and green flashing, so they bought those on their own, like, I don't know if the school district bought that or not, but. We could look into some other, I've gotten quite a few comments about the relocated crosswalk and concerns, so.
this is a world change.
Yeah,
And I know from the PD perspective, chief has put in some OT volunteer requests during those school movement hours as well. And I have seen a couple of the staff out there in cars. I've seen a couple that get pulled over a little bit and whatever PD folks are doing to advise them, hey,
Another good thing is we just had one officer that just graduated the training academy, so she's been starting patrolling, so that's increasing that presence, and there's another one that graduates next week. So then they'll both be out starting their FTO and doing that stuff. So I think you're gonna see an increased amount of cars out there as we continue to move towards being fully staffed, and we're training on pulling people over and patrolling and things like that. If we're not getting complaints, we're not doing it right.
And it's mostly coming in from southern side. Okay. So anything else from? Public works.
We're waiting for the 60% design presentation and moving from open engineering for the biosolids facility. Actually spoke with them yesterday on the phone. Looking forward to have that back from them. The final facility plan memo, I reviewed that and got that back to them yesterday. And we're gonna be moving on to the policy that I think one could look at a couple of minor comments. Part of that memo, we the layout of the plant based on how furnitures had done their design. So there's just some locations that we gotta make sure is in the right spot to quality understand, that this is where these actual components are at the plant versus where most of the engineering believe that it is. So it's a little bit of work on their part, but I would say that will go with all of you probably. That would be a good thing for us. Any questions on the biosol?
I'm from that, been thinking about that and having sat in a lot of these. Here, this thing's been a little bit all over the board. There's some changes, well, a handful of changes, and I'm not 100% clear exactly how, where we are and how we got there. And I don't know if it's worth the time to put a one pager or a two pager, just real simple, high level, not detailed overview of when this started, it was here. You had council members that had baked into that process and were on it. And then it changed, and then you had council members that were really on board, some were not on board, and then now we're kind of, for the most part, in the same direction, but with some minor changes from what I understand. I really don't know what those are. And so as this has kind of morphed into what it currently is, if we, if we had something that just kind of explained, here's where we were, here's where we went to, and then here's where we stand today. Doesn't need to get into all the politics of who, what, when, where, why, and how. I don't think anybody cares about that at this point. I think it would just be helpful for us to understand what we're spending on.
Yeah, I think we could definitely come up with a kind of a roadmap of. Conceptually, this is where it kind of started to, here's where I jumped into team and how we're working with our final people.
And I think that's the key word, not in these.
I will keep it 30,000 for you again. Next up on the list is 5.2 council goal, Philippine master plan and design. Just a update that's actually out for solicitation. The proposal opening will be February 14th at 10 o'clock here at City. And then there'll be some scoring to follow based on what bids are receiving. There'll be some proposal selection, negotiation, should be something in February. That way we're ready to go with guys. It's a large proposal. If I work inside that.
Or help get, I don't know if you've been involved with me in conversations. That's right. Roughly in Q2 last year, we had a report from PSI that gave us kind of an overview snapshot of our telemetry system. And from that, we passed an agenda bill that basically gave us over $400,000 to make some updates. With that, we updated servers immediately because that was the most critical component. And then from there, we had a bucket of money left over. There were some discussions about how to utilize that money, and we elected to hang on to that money and keep it specifically for telemetry. So with that, moving forward from the TSI report, there's been some additional work to kind of fine tune that where it's been. And so that's kind of where I start getting a little bit gray on it. And at this stage now, we're going out to bid. So what exactly we're going out to bid on, I'm not 100% clear on yet. We haven't gotten into a lot of those weeds, but if not, study session, but even if it's next month at this meeting, if we could get, again, a high level overview of from the TSI report, and maybe if we provide a copy of that report, and then here's, what we amended, and here's the direction we're going with what we're bidding. Just so we're clear. My biggest concern on that is that for a year, we've had a lot of funds approved and haven't been able to spend them. So the question is, effectively, well, not a positive or negative way, just we've got the money, why aren't we spending it? So if we could get that, that would be.
really look at the country master plan just for informational purpose to bring it along the same sheet of music. Right now, if we were to go out and spend money at site A, B, C, D, there's no set standard on what those devices are going to be installed. Also, when you go through a project to upgrade a lift station or rehabilitate well two, for example, which is relatively old and dated. There's no set standards on what those panels are gonna contain and how they're going to operationally function. The other challenge also is we have microwave, we have radio, we have some fiber, we have some copper phone lines. There's no set standard on how we're going to actually bring the communication in a modern and IT secure way at this point. So instead of us from the public works operational side of the house, spending money doing a little bit here, a little bit there, we really need to have a good comprehensive game plan of how we're gonna bring all of these systems together, from lift stations to the plants to all of our well sites. Also on one storm pump station as well. So we have one comprehensive network that we all can understand how it's built. Not necessarily the ones and zeros behind the scenes, but how we're gonna get to, here is our system that we're gonna have in good functional shape, not necessarily the Bentley model, but definitely a Cadillac. That is gonna be our good backbone for the next 30 plus years. That's kind of the vision that we have within public works to kind of share. I know Councilman Moore has mentioned that the same kind of vision in previous meetings as well. So without having that plan roadmap similar to the water system plan or general sewer plan, we would be doing ourselves both as the maintainers of the system and stewards of the public funds. We would be doing ourselves a disservice by not having a good, well thought out. So part of that also is we're gonna have this awesome plan. We're gonna bring it to the council. And then begin to kind of move that ball forward down the road. Part of it also is gonna be the design for those types of panels that will go in those different sites as well. That's what I asked for in the RFP. Then that will give us that baseline. So as you get ready to start to design how this energy network is going to take shape, here's what the panel is going to be at, like the construction side. Because there's a lot of data things out there. This is one way to make sure that we've got everything that matches. So if something failed here, we can easily grab something off the spares kit and be in good shape and be current. The server work that was done was great. It's working perfectly right now, aside from the little DSL modem issue that was on that sent to you. Yeah, it's our back, it's ours. We're working towards the cellular connection to where we're all secure right now, but aside from that, the system is working perfectly and the guys are happy. And we're getting alarm calls for different things, and someone opens the door and they turn off the switch for intrusion detection. But also part of this is you don't have intrusion detection at every site, especially out or we're really not let's say we don't have visual security methods out there as well. So that is all included in this initial plan. So I want to know, okay, how can we make this? I'd like to be able to have it where my on-call person has the laptop and is able to log in real quick and see what's going on out inside A. Or what happened. We've had vehicles that have flipped off the road. They tried to enter into Harmon Springs. Coming off the curb. We've had one just last year that was right off of I-52 Harmon and break the fence at roll one. So there are things that are out there that we would love to get some kind of a notification that says, hey, we have some problems, we have something we need to do something about, or hey, there's something illegal happening. Trying to break in, I'm on top of the reservoir. So those are all things that have happened throughout my military career as well. They've been trying to make sure that we cover all of our bases, using the planning. And then we'll be able to identify. Yeah, that's not necessarily. It's gonna be a good thing for us. Thank you for which. I don't. I really do want that to happen.
So that's why I'm anxious to spend all that. It's usually on the other way.
Well, that's 16 months.
So anyway, and then the standardization has been huge, because in the past, you go out and you got a valve, every valve is different on every device, and it's like, let's standardize it, so we can put one on the shelf, and when any of them break, we can do it, instead of having to stop one spares. So, I've been all about trying to help push that since I got on Public Works, to be able to get them standardized, have spare parts on hand, have all the tools they need, have everything ready, and just be a first class organization, so, and he's been done in the spot every time we've gotten any contracts or anything back, every page has clearly been read, digested, and so.
Our Brighton demonstration, so, we've got live with Brighton, and staff are fully utilizing that right now. In your packet, you'll have a small slide deck of some information, this is just the demo, based on what, Brighton potentially provide to us, that we will be able to, one, put up on our website as well, and share with the council potentially in a study session.
I don't.
There is a, well,
I can print a copy or two. Danielle probably can. I'm not in it. Chris, do you want a physical one? I could happy to print it.
No, I'm
Okay. Dude Manufacturing, I'm assuming I'm on the right.
so this is their demo one, right now, we're still building the data in there as our staff is using it. This is really the best. So what we'll be able to get out of this custom generated report is how many work orders we're completing, what's in the system. Also, preventative maintenance work order section, we'll be able to give a ton of different data sets that we can provide both one of the council, just so you have an idea, hey, this is what we've done this quarter or this month, depending on what that means to look like. As well as hours and also cost. Associated with this type of thing. Between Laura and I, we're working on kind of figuring out the reporting side of the house and what one is more valuable happens for us. Work order per year. So we'll start tracking metrics of what the department will have. Over time. Definitely open to kind of thing that you guys would like to potentially see in a report, so we can kind of guide, shape, and hold that report there. We're not providing data, so we need to hold.
It's not even there, but I'd say, when the fans go to fix guns, he gets 100 work orders done. But if okay, work orders that are fives, and he just 80% of them, so he's still doing better than this guy. That's how we evaluate our people and then coach them. Better.
Go ahead and, so we've got, there's a couple different ones out there as well. Full number of work orders, 5 months, 4 years. So we'll kind of fine tune that. Using the approved budget from council and the question before the party, we loaded, the fully loaded wages for all of our staff. And goes out and does work on every job. If you flush water line, all of those times are tracked by the staff. And we're actually getting cost data associated with that as well. So we'll be able to see that. Other things that we're also acknowledging and working through as well is, say I have a water break, and I don't have enough water stacked. So I need some fighters because the water stack can make repair. So I may pull some maintenance into and assign them to this water work order. When they put their labor in, they're able to choose the appropriate costs that is associated with that. So it won't count against the maintenance cost labor budget there. We'll transition over to the water side. Something
They transition.
for that portion of time. And in the end, because the two systems don't necessarily link up with our time cards themselves, the expectation that I given staff several months ago, we started going through this celebration of the Brightly was, hey, there's going to be a point where what's coming out of Brightly that you're putting in will have to match your time card. If it doesn't match your time card, we're not going to submit your time card. We're going to have to fix the time card to make sure that it's matched. That's the only way we can ensure that we include all the data. Like, from any system to those are all big picture things that we've got the staff kind of on board with, and they, how much time is it take to find?
On that, Johnson, just had a recommended. Yeah. Pull up and it tells you how many hours it takes to do that task. Well, he's going in, I'll have that, you know. Going, yeah. Yeah, so that's one issue I got is you start camping out on the task and showing up there with a 4-hour task, and, you know, it's, you know, do the task and the cards for 3 hours. That's something that, which I don't think within our MFT will have.
Yeah, I think our staff are pretty trustworthy to go out, do their jobs, and come back, get another work assignment, and move forward. Also, they have the mobile app as well, so they're able to get all their work assignments, all the maps, all the GIS layers for where's the water main, where's the hydrant, etc. All on their mobile device, whether it's a phone, a tablet, or their workstation back in the office. when it comes to preventative maintenance, I already have times essentially assigned based on the historical record data. From my prior life. We'll start using those, as we go through it, and that's kind of the big focus is going to be the month of February, through March, building out the preventative maintenance program itself. Because the majority of work should be PM driven. So our target is to be 60% of time spent on PM, 30% on corrective and reactive type maintenance. Yeah, water, something along those lines, and then 10% or so for so that's kind of our target within the department of what we're doing. I know historically, the more preventative maintenance that we do, that's pretty corrective maintenance should occur. A little bit different, with, for example, underground utilities compared to the facility itself, but we're gonna make sure that we're doing everything we can. So also some of where you there, likewise, that talk about the ability. All that stuff is. So we'll be able to do some good data as we start doing budget discussion. All that, right, so all of it's in Brighton as well. One other element within Brighton that is not actually two elements, right? Planning for by July to roll out the citizen portal request system. So where any citizen that's in the city or even someone that's actually in the city will have to find a pothole on Alabama or something. They can go straight to the city website and they can report that. And then we went through and process it with the team and we get that repaired. One of the interesting features that go along with that is they will give you every single time you change status, anytime you request something, the citizen will give an update on that in real time as we. So it's pretty neat, a really nice system. The other element that we are going to be talking with Tim on is we also include code enforcement as something that we can found in the system as well. So as long as it works for what Kim and Kurt and team are looking to do, we do that as part of our plan. That's really good. Already preloaded there, ready for us to use to decide that we want to build that. Questions about right? On 5.4 site sewer plan, just wanted to give you guys an update. We've got one property in the city that is linked directly to another via a line connection, and there's been some issues with blockages created by one property, but called in by a change connected property. It's probably a little bit lower elevation. Probably some backups to joining residents. I'm working with our legal team to make sure that we've got that properly back in the code to hold appropriate parties responsible for the blocking that are not related to defects in the system.
You did address previously, last year, we had an issue on one of my projects where we had a shared site tour. And so part of the issue was well, who's responsible for it? In the old days, the PSI building connected to, well, PSI had a sewer, it got clogged, got cut off, attached to what was their taxi bill. And then it clogged again. But then the problem was with different owners, it was the school district and John Elk originally. And so back in those days, they almost would have phone John, hey, no big deal. But nowadays it's a little different. The liability, the building was owned by somebody out of town, and so when one sewer clogged, there's no joint use agreement, there's no utility easement, there's nothing, so legally, property owner B can't go on to take property and vice versa. But here's what's worse, it connected under Bucky's, and then went back up to PSI, and then we connected to the street. In the nineties, they did a rebuild of Calistoga. The construction drawings and the as-bills match, but they didn't match what was built. So they show a sewer stuff out on low properties, but there isn't. And there's 2 sewers on one property and 2 waters on the other. Well, now you're crossing again. It became a fiasco. How do you unravel it? How do you unwind it? Because nobody's technically has to sign an agreement at this stage. Well, then just kind of becomes a little. So we tried to clean it up. What we got was we changed the policy to the city is responsible for everything up to the sidewalk. We clarified that in our code. That's standard language. And then the property owner is responsible for everything on their property. The gap that that has been corrected at this stage, which is where the development standards, perhaps we can kind of take the opportunity here. This is the second one I heard. We talked about, when Marshall at first came on board, he was just training from the fire hose. And the question was, how many of these are happening within the city? The response was, well, for $25,000, we can get a study. Or I think it was actually $250,000. I don't know, some obscene number. I thought, why don't we just go ask the guys, they can tell us generally. But the problem is, our guys are mostly young, and you know, you had the old Tim Archer the other day, those guys tell you, right? So I think the opportunity is when we, as we move forward, when we encounter these things, that part of the plan, somehow we incorporate a mechanism where, hey, the city's got to deal with this one way or another. Part of the agreement here is you two need to go sign easements or go and use agreements if you're going to keep like what it is, or if we're going to unravel this and retype it. Either here's approved contractors, here's the city doing it, our cost, or whatever that mechanism is. We figure that out so that we can, because as the city ages and we build new infrastructure, both the infrastructure side and new construction side, this is going to come up more. Because this generally seems to happen in areas that were built pre-1920 when the whole system was completely done. And I think there's like overall in the 90s, like Barner, Washington, Hanscoy, and Calistoga. But anyways, this is a fairly widespread thing in life. So as you guys are going through this, that's something you guys are trying to talk about, figure out, because I suspect it's gonna come up more and more over the decades. But this makes sense.
Yeah, in this particular neighborhood, everything was done the same way. It's 2 houses sharing the main line, with them widening together. So, we have the documentation and records of how often we have to go out there and clear everything. It's clear based on the list of staff. It's not a mechanical issue from installation. Mechanical line, there's been contraction that need to be going into repairs. Clearly a property these kind of issues that we're trying to show they're communicating and addressing, whether it's through education, stuff along those lines. So really with our people to making sure that it's very, very clear for when there's blockages that are clearly caused by things that are not allowed by our code to go down the drain. It's clearly spelled out that property owner, you are responsible for the cost of clearing these lines. So, trying to make sure that we aren't necessarily liable for that cost in house food with a block up, which is the law. One of the important guys is that.
One other discussion that's going to have is the creation of site tour cards for most jurisdictions. A lot of site plan section, they'll draw on set of measurements, pipes are photograph. issue, like if the city allowed people to use joint use utilities and needed to make them give an easement, is that our fault? It benefited them at the time, doing it for money, but at the same time, we probably shouldn't have allowed it. So how do we deal with that moving forward? Because this is one of those where I, the citizen, if they're pulling Charmin and other products out of there. And, then that cost should go back. The system just fails under normal use. It being really cost. And so, in an effort just to be, because I know like Herman Way has a big issue with this, because it was all private septic at one point. Everybody connected, sensitive. And so, to formally adopt some sort of policy, so it's not, well, you guys don't care, it's that guy, it's fine, that's somebody could articulate that. We're not playing favorites, but that could easily be inferred. So, since we're updating all of our, development standards.
Right.
I just want to shed some light on that.
Also part of, who's gonna come with the product? I met with a vendor for the street sweeper and the backer. I've got them close back and I'll be working through that with the contractor that we provide those vehicles, but even the DES contracting averages that we have.
Would you, the street sweeper and or backer last year?
The backer was not last year. That one was a new one. I believe the street sweeper was at one point, but then the funds were reallocated to something.
I remember my first year, we got it approved through. It was just, the backer truck was approved for a big chunk of it, was approved through the county, but nobody responded from the city. So we lost the money for it. And it rolled over, so we still have access to it, but I think, so. We're asking for all three.
Not right now. Sorry, let me rephrase. It's budgeted for all three. At this moment, I'm only prepared to bring forward the multi-purpose vehicle, which is the handout that I provided to you guys. The other two I have to go through and continue some research and find the best possible.
This one is replacing the bike. Yeah.
So this is the vehicle for the replacement of our bucket truck and our Nifty lift, which I actually have a potential buyer for the Nifty lift this week. On your packet there, I've got a current cost of $212,537.72 for the actual purpose with vehicle. The amount budgeted is $250. So far, we haven't extended any of that budget. It will be coming from both water and stormwater, because they'll be the primary users of the summary statement itself. Of course, which is requesting the capital approval to purchase the multi-lift vehicle as approved in the 2025 budget to replace the bucket truck and the bridge unit. It's gonna enhance operational efficiency, reduce reliance on external pre-contractors, improve staff safety and working in elevated conditions across parks, water service areas, storm retention ponds, and our center. Budget allocation is $250. And our total vehicle cost, right now, the tax is $2,500. Public Works can actually take ownership of this vehicle in less than 30 days, not one where you have to wait for it to build. This is actually sitting in Portland, Oregon right now. It's their demo model that they came out and showed us. Coming full of black. Never had anything besides a demo, taking a guy up, bring him down and around. Also attached. Which also purchased some tools that will go with that one. So right now, I'm waiting on those quote numbers back to see if I can have them created. Yeah, within the month. Moving electrical base and much safer for our staff. Right now, the Michigan, probably familiar with, Michigan. It's got such a wide wingspan for its supports. And they're doing banner changes and decorating for, the holidays. Really goes out into the lane of traffic and travel, which is not very safe. This one here actually has hydraulic. You see in the middle of the picture on the second page, got some hydraulic leveling systems as a part of it. Stabilizing it while it's up. And the staff is really looking forward to.
Is there a limit? Is it going down?
I'm working on it already. I actually got quotes back, yesterday. I apologize.
We have the, I'm not sure if you're aware of, we have to always add it to
The plan is for the street sweeper, the upcoming funds. You kind of be charged for what we want.
and I think we're putting in, I think we get allocated 150,000, I tried to push it to 100 or 150,000.
I haven't seen anything yet, but I was going off of the additional gifts that.
We are in the sponsor.
My intent in what was in the approved budget was spend the money within the city's budget. On that, come back. As of end of last year, there was 128, and this year there should be about. That is kind of my plan there. The Vector, there's a lot of different variations with the Vector, what chassis. The Peterbilt versus an international versus. What have you, so right now, that's kind of what I'm at with. That meeting on Friday, so hopefully I'll have some information for you, at study session. And something, I don't know yet, but, this one here, we definitely get to them.
She hasn't started yet, so just adding her to the agenda so we don't forget. I just have the two items moving forward, the multi-purpose truck and the Kansas Street scope. I think that's what you call it.